Let's take a look at some of the other miscellaneous features on the synthesizer. Now, of course, you can access a variety of different presets from here. You can even type in a name if you know the name of a preset. This undo feature is very helpful, so if you make a change, you can undo that, and you can also redo it, and this is independent from your undo redo from your DAW. There's also this AB option, so let's say this is a particular setting that I like, and I would like to compare with a different setting. So in this case, this preset already has a different setting. So that's kind of helpful. Now what we can do is we can copy this over to B. So now we have the exact same preset on both A and B. And then I can make some subtle changes and then kind of compare those changes. So that's kind of helpful. Other global controls we have is there's a built-in arpeggiator, and this preset is using it. There's some controls over here, like I like this arpeggiator legato. Make it very staccato sounding or more legato. Basically a gate time control, but we can also adjust the groove or feel of the arpeggiation. Almost like introducing some kind of swing, so we can adjust that manually there. Other controls we have relate to transposition. So if I set this to off, we just hear the notes that I'm playing, but I can set it to also add in an octave above, or even 2 octaves above. Note playback order up, down, as played, and even random. Latch. So right now latch is off, but I can enable held mode. So in held mode, if I play a single note, and then I add a second note, let go of the second note, play a third note, let go of that. So like that I can basically stack on notes as long as I'm playing that first note. And when I let go of that first note, the entire arpeggiation stops. So I like this. It's pretty helpful arpeggiation mode versus the full-on latch mode where it'll just latch on all the notes that are being held. And when you let go, those notes will stay on forever until you switch to off mode, which can be a little annoying. So I like the held feature there. All right, in terms of the rate, right now we're hearing a 16th note, but I can change it to any of these other options, including free. Let's try quarter note, but specifically quarter note dotted. Now it sounds much slower because there's an arpeggiator rate offset, which is set to a low value. Setting this to 1 will give us the original speed, so I can just command click to reset it to 1. Now we can lock the arpeggiator settings, so if I change to a different preset, like even if I change to the clean preset, we keep the arpeggiator settings. So that's kind of helpful to have the arpeggiator running whilst changing out the presets. MIDI learn is very, very simple and straightforward. So turn on MIDI learn mode and then you'll see that some parameters have already been MIDI assigned. In fact, if you click over here under the clear menu, you can see what has been assigned. I'm going to clear all. And you can see now we even have the option to load factory settings, but I won't do that because all those other options will get loaded in. I'm going to now manually MIDI map some controls. So it's very simple. Just select the parameter you want and then just tweak a knob. It gets assigned. Select another knob, tweak a parameter. So like this, you can MIDI map a variety of different controls and then control that with your MIDI controller. High quality mode can be engaged for oversampling. Yes, it does take up a bit more CPU, but you get a higher quality. Polyphony we can adjust here. There's also a unison option. So let's say I want 3 voices of unison. Then we can spread the voices. Let's turn off the arpeggiator for now. And let's also turn off these effects. We also have options for alternate tunings. So I can click over here and choose from any of these different tuning presets. We can also load in external tuning presets. I'm going to try one of these. Let's try the Shruti scale. So make sure it's turned on with this button here. I'm going to use the arpeggiator and let's speed up the arpeggiator a bit. Let's go to a 16th note and let's have a listen to what this sounds like. Let's try this Carlos harmonic 12 tone. So yeah, if you're into alternate tunings, you could choose one of these or load in your own custom tuning. I'm going to turn this off, so we're back to normal tuning, or I can also click here and choose reset tuning. Alright, so aside from that, on the master section here, we have an overall volume control and an overall panning control. And also an overall stereo width control. So if you remember, we can make our filter sound a bit more stereo by making the left and right channel have different cutoff values. So now we made the sound a bit more stereo. We can make that even wider by increasing this stereo, or bring it down to 0 so it's back to being centered or mono. Alright, so those are all the different controls on the FabFilter Twin 3. As you can see, a pretty powerful synthesizer with some novel features that you may not see on other synthesizers.